Hi, fifth graders. Mrs. Oliver here. I'm going to go over your comprehension for your floppy book this week. We are on Unit 5, Week 2. The story is called The Day the Rollets Got Their Moxie Back, and you can find that on pages 282 through 285. Our story takes place in the past. They tell us the date 1937, and they begin talking about Ricky, who is the two girls in the story's brother. And he is currently designing and working on buildings as part of the state park. They also tell us that this is a project of President Roosevelt. So we're getting a little bit of events and people from history. So we're getting dates, real events from history, a person from history. They are also using something called dialect. Dialect is the way people talk. So throughout the story, they use some words that we might not use today. Like they said, those girls have moxie, which kind of means the girls have spirit. They use the word folks. And they also talk about the event during this time. There was not a lot of work, so many families were poor and had to use soup kitchens as a way of getting food for their family. So although this story is fiction, meaning it's made up, it's historical fiction because there are many people and events from history in this story. Our comprehension strategy is to make predictions. So if I take a look at the title, The Day the Rollets Got Their Moxie Back, I can kind of predict that the word Rollets must be their last name. And as I begin to read, I do realize that that is the family's last name, and I'm introduced to some of the characters. I'm introduced to the mother, the father. They talk about the brother Ricky writing letters. We're also introduced to Ruth and Shirley. So those are all the Rollets. It's not until later in the story that I find out what Moxie means, which means like to have excitement, spirit, enthusiasm. So we kind of find out that the girls get their spirit back, and we'll figure out why as we read. Our comprehension skill is to compare and contrast. During this time where the family is really poor, the family members all kind of deal with it in a different way. So the letter that they get from Ricky shows their brother in a talent show, which kind of inspires the girls to put on their own talent show. And they're really excited about that. It seems like they like to perform. At the end of our story, they actually do perform. They sing and dance on the streets with their dad. The mother, her personality is different than that. She sings and tries to lift everyone's spirits. So she's making a meatloaf for the family, but they don't have any meat, so she makes it out of beets, and she makes a silly little song like beet loaf, the meatless beet loaf, I think is how she says it. So she's the one who's trying to kind of keep everybody's spirits up. Dad, however, is kind of the opposite of Mom. Dad is really depressed. He's very tired looking. He's even bored. He wants to work. He wants to make money for his family, but he's unable to find work at this time, so he's kind of in a really bad mood. Okay, I hope this helped you understand your story a little bit more, and I'll see you next week.